Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell and like this video. That helps me to keep making videos. I'd appreciate it majorly. So, in addition to the Labor Secretary Alex Acosta resigning today, alongside Trump, there was other news about Jeffrey Epstein. Well, the prosecutors, the U.S. attorneys in the Southern District of New York, filed some documents today, basically responding to what was filed by Jeffrey Epstein's attorneys yesterday. Making a proposal for his bail, and then on Monday, the judge there will be a bail hearing, and the judge will make a decision whether or not he'll somewhere in between what the prosecutors and the defense attorneys want, or side with the prosecutors who want him in detention for the duration of the trial. So but like I said, and I'll get to that in a second. There's some pretty explosive claims by the prosecution and why they say he should be held in detention until for the entirety of the trial. So this is no joke at all. But like I said, Trump was standing next to Acosta when Acosta resigned today during the press conference, which was a pretty big, massive press conference. Apparently, if you're somebody that's handed out a sweetheart deal to somebody that everybody else is calling a predator and a pedophile, if you've done that, you stand shoulder to shoulder with Trump when it's your time to resign. Other people, they go out the door, and it's announced on Twitter. But if you've given a sweetheart deal, slap on the wrist plea deal to Jeffrey Epstein, you get stood next to in person, shoulder to shoulder by Donald Trump. Do the math, dude. I mean, that's what you get. So, like I said, it's being reported in several places that the prosecutors, the U.S. attorneys in the Southern District of New York, bringing the case against Jeffrey Epstein, who's being charged with sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy to sex trafficking of minors. They claim that he allegedly paid $350 to two potential witnesses to previous alleged acts of sexual misconduct. Prosecutors said on Friday. I don't know if they were in court speaking to a judge, or if they filed motions. I'm not real sure. Maybe I'll find out in this report. But what is pretty remarkable is those things are relatively recent. I think they were in November and December. I'll get to the details in a second. And it was immediately following the report that was in the Miami Herald, I think, of November of 2018, sort of bringing to light the fact that this sweetheart plea deal, was never disclosed to the victims, etc. The non-prosecution agreement that was approved by the former U.S. Attorney of the Southern District of Florida, Alex Acosta, who resigned today. I was just watching Laura Ingraham today with Kenneth Starr, who was Kenneth Starr, along with Alan Dershowitz and somebody else named Lefkowitz, who I've never seen or heard of before until this. I'm sure these guys are all barracudas, man, believe me, including Kenneth Starr, even though he comes off as extremely nice. Laura Ingraham was saying that Acosta caved to the liberal media, caved to Democrats. I'm not a Democrat, and I don't, I thought it was a disgrace that he's even, Trump's labor secretary. The fact that Trump chose him as labor secretary, and claims ignorance of the thing which I don't buy. I don't buy at all. Nobody does. And people who, love Trump and just stick their head in the sand in this, even though they've been saying for years and years about pizza this and the Clintons that, and this guy Epstein, and then all of a sudden, because it looks like Trump is in the picture, it's no big deal. It's bullshit. So, convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, who is now facing sex trafficking charges in New York, allegedly paid $350 $350,000 to silence 2 potential witnesses, a federal prosecutor claimed on Friday. So convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, who got a sweetheart slap on the wrist plea agreement from the former U.S. attorney in the Southern District of Florida, Jeffrey Acosta. When Jeffrey Acosta resigns, the person who does that, the person who gives the sweetheart plea agreement to the to the convicted pedophile, that person gets a shoulder to shoulder with Trump, in person, in front of a crowd of reporters. So, convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, who is now facing sex trafficking charges, like I said, I already read that. Epstein is said to have sent the money to the believed witnesses between late November and early December last year, just after an article was published in the Miami Herald detailing a deal he struck with authorities in Florida to avoid federal charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan unveiled the allegations in a court filing in which prosecutors requested Epstein be denied bail while he awaits trial, citing the reported payments as evidence that he may try to influence other witnesses if not detained. I could see their point. It's a huge day on Monday. It's a huge day. And I was saying just, I think it was yesterday, that I don't have a good feeling that he was going to maybe be let out on bail and allowed to be, in home detention in the same mansion where he's accused of doing this, on the Upper East Side, the $77 million mansion. I don't know, though. I don't know. I mean, I think the prosecutors make a pretty good case, but this is exactly what will happen. This is the difference. It's night and day between whether he's in jail or not. If he's not in jail, he's able to defend himself much, much better, as is laid out by the prosecutors here, versus when he's in jail. Let me continue. The same filing revealed that Epstein is still worth in excess of $500 million. To their client's defense, Epstein's attorneys say he is innocent and has been a law-abiding citizen for the last 14 years since his aforementioned guilty plea for soliciting an underage girl for sex in Florida, in which he served just a 13-month sentence. Much of that on work release, where he was allowed to leave every day for 8 to 10 hours, 6 out of the 7 days of the week, every week, from what I understand. But the prosecution say otherwise, suggesting that Epstein is unrepentant and unreformed, actively conspiring to cover the tracks of his criminal misdeeds by paying significant amounts of money to buy the silence of close associates of his who could later testify against him at trial. They claim he wired $250,000 to one of his employees, and a separate payment of $100,000 was made to a second person, both of whom, though unnamed, were identified as potential co-conspirators. Assessing both the size of the payments and the timings in which they were sent, prosecutors believe he was trying to influence co-conspirators who could provide information against him in relation to the charges highlighted by the Herald. On Friday, prosecutors revealed that the girl who reported Epstein in 2005 said she received a warning from someone claiming to be in contact with the financer. The victim claimed she was told she would be paid cash if she agreed to not comply with the authorities' investigation, adding that those who help him will be compensated and those who hurt him will be dealt with, the accuser's statement reads. The accuser's claims comes as one of many made by other accusers and witnesses who also say they were incentivized to remain silent with cash or otherwise fear the consequences of failing to comply. So that's the story there, man. That's the latest. And I'm sure some of my comments are going to put off some people. That's just life, I will tell you though, Trump did not look good today. Did not, and he looked like a different man than he's ever. I've never seen him like that. That doesn't mean he's done. That doesn't. Believe me, he's been through a lot, but he didn't look good. He did not. I'm telling you, I don't know if this is a turning point or not, but I've never seen him like I saw him today. He looked guilty, totally. And that's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.